social media is not a real place. People do crazy stuff all the time, and you just kind of have to deal with it. And I guess with it, you know, you having all these followers, and then stardom comes like hate and all this different type of stuff. But only thing I've noticed is that people are very intimidated by natural black women.
Wilder Claressa Shields had an epiphany just when it looked like there was nothing else to do. People are taking sides, dragging names, and challenging everything we believe to be true about Remy and Papoose's purported perfection all over the internet right now. But first, how did it all start? Why is Claressa making this public now? And above all, are Papoose reasons for being her stepfather? Which way is this going? The beginning of Remy Ma's story was when Claressa Shields decided she could no longer maintain secrets. Her sudden disclosure of facts might destroy any relationship. It was not expected that Claressa would step in and exacerbate the situation. She used social media to hint at their secret relationship and show that Papoose was more than simply a mentor or friend. Papoose is her child's father. Rumors of turmoil concerning Papoose and Remy Ma's marriage started to spread months ago, and people were already making assumptions about it. When he was identified as her child's father, initially, many weren't sure if they should believe him. Despite her reputation for being honest, some thought Claressa was trolling because of her ridiculous claim. Although there were others who believed she was disclosing information about a long-running issue, the best part, had it not been genuine, Papoose would have immediately put an end to it. He did not try to quell it, make any declarations, deny anything, or clear his name. His silence only fueled the fires. Using previous conversations between him and Claressa as a starting point, supporters looked for any clue that this might have been taking place behind closed doors. Everyone, meantime, was watching Remy Ma closely. She had suspicions for a while, but nothing significant enough to confront Papoose about them, according to some sources. Others believe she found out about it on social media, just like everyone else. Anyway, she was not going to ignore this. That much was clear. After hearing Claressa's words, Remy Ma initially turned to Instagram to voice her disapproval, as she has never been the kind to remain silent when someone approaches her. Although she didn't mention specific individuals, everyone was aware of who she was talking about. Clearly feeling duped, she reposted an enigmatic remark about disloyalty and fake love, but that was only the start. Remy then took a series of direct shots. In her stories on Instagram, she criticized women who model their brands after other people's men. She was clearly not impressed and didn't hold back when she ridiculed Claire's handling of the incident. Thereafter, she spent years concentrating on Papoose. After protecting Remy's identity and being a loving husband while she was incarcerated, Papoose had been known as the perfect husband. Nevertheless, Remy now charged him with being not a provider but a taker. Fans poured onto the internet, devouring every word she spoke, stating how she felt exploited by the whole situation. Remy was condemned by some for her handling of the situation, while others supported her and said she had every right to be upset. The drama unfolding in real time made it clear that this issue was far from resolved, despite the thoughts of others that she was simply playing the victim now that the truth was out.
not know that Remy was already out here having her little boy toy or whatever prank? He done came out and done said it. It's not a thing of me having an issue with her. My only issue is why you leak my number. It ain't no thing, oh, I want him and he's married to you. And it's not that. I'm a girl's girl. So when it comes to like that, that's not it. Don't look at me and say, oh, you just came and messed up this happy home and stuff like that. Because that's not what happened. We would still not be public or people wouldn't know still right now because that's not how he does things. That's not how I'm doing things moving forward. Like for me, I'm just not like that. I'm not fighting over no man. She's mad that he moved on while she's moved on. You know how people want their cake and they would eat it too.
So she did leak your number on the internet. Has that affected you? Have people been using it and calling?
Absolutely. All these private calls and reds. If I go to missed, right? Look, this is all people who are calling for her.
There are a lot of missed calls.
When we thought things couldn't get much worse, everything changed when leaked text messages started to appear online. Messages between Claressa Shields and Papoose were shown in screenshots allegedly stolen from her phone. These texts, if they are genuine, suggest that Claressa was not only peripherally associated with him, but actively involved, urging him to be truthful, to quit playing games, to commit. Some of the things she wrote were, "I don't deserve to be hidden. I'm tired of hiding if you really love me or not. What makes you lie?" The remarks were not made by a casual acquaintance. The true explosion happened when Remy Ma chose to make a counterattack. Remy went on a full-on Instagram tirade, sending cryptic statements that many think were. Her posts, which were directed at Claressa and Papoose, implied that some people will believe anything to make them feel better about their bad choices, but she persisted still. There are rumors that Remy has information about Claressa and Papoose, and she isn't scared to utilize it. According to her, Claressa had proof that she was aware Papoose was still seeing her and continued to pressure him to stop. Some even claim Remy made reference to text messages that expose Claressa's deceit over the extent of the connection, even if it was clear that no one in this situation was completely innocent at the time. Did Remy's possession of all this material signal that she had been aware of Papa's relationship with Claressa for a while and had remained silent, or was she merely attempting to manage the story now that it was widely known after days of saying nothing while his reputation was damaged online? Finally having enough, Papoose didn't hold back when he spoke in a message that was shared on social media. As evidence that he wasn't the bad guy in this situation, Papoose denied lying to Claressa. Remy was making up stories to make herself look like the victim, he said, and he never pledged to leave her for her. According to Papoose, he and Remy had been living apart for months, and he had been attempting to end their marriage in secret. This is where things became even more confusing, even though he even hinted that he knew about his relationship with Claressa long before it was made public. Instead of merely defending himself, Papoose revealed startling information regarding their marital sources state that Papoose made hints that Remy wasn't as faithful as she claimed to be, and that she had dated other guys as well. Additionally, he accused her of using their marriage as a media stunt, making it seem as though they were still together while, in reality, they had been drifting apart quietly. The fans were astonished. Maybe Papoose wasn't the devoted husband that everyone thought he was, or was Remy the one who was playing tricks all along? It was clear from the revelation of all this additional material that the drama was far from over.
If you want to make me wifey or something. Kind of lock me down, gonna indict me or something. Okay. Now she on the ground talking spicy for nothing. His girlfriend mad, guess she want to fight me or something.
It seemed at first that Remy Ma would just take a few light jabs and go on, but now that the internet is pressuring her to respond, it's difficult to ignore the issue. According to some fans, she is done with Papoose after this. However, there have been prior claims of their marriage, so some people think she's only acting to save face. But if Remy knew about Papoose and Claressa before anything else, Did she wait for this moment to respond? She wasn't truly surprised, according to some sources, but rather hoped the truth wouldn't come out. Since it has happened, she is trying to limit the harm, which has led some people to assume that she is genuinely embarrassed and hurt. This is particularly true as one of the clearest indicators that Papoose may not be finished is the fact that she has always been presented as the perfect loving husband. Although she knows how tough it may be, she has not publicly acknowledged a split. Long-term partnerships may be acceptable if they can resolve their differences in private, but if Remy is genuinely done, this could be the final nail in the coffin for one of the most talked about hip-hop marriages. Claressa, on the other hand, hasn't given up yet. In fact, according to insiders, she has been insisting more that she is fed up with being viewed as the villain in this case when she was just. Because she speaks the truth, she is getting a lot of backlash. And some fans have accused her of pursuing influence whether or not she wants to. There are many who believe she is just another woman in a challenging relationship with a man who has already found love, and it is uncertain whether Sessa will make an effort to move on or keep discussing it. There are many who believe she is waiting for Papoose to officially recognize her, although some think she will eventually distance herself too. Further drama, but everything she does will be keenly monitored now that everyone is looking at her. And last, where does Papoose go from here? The entire scenario has changed people's perceptions of him. For many years, he was seen as the loyal spouse who stood by Remy no matter what, but his reputation has suffered greatly. There are fans who feel duped and others who think he's simply another man who has been duped by himself.
Apparently, Papoose has been trying to get a divorce for some time now. He says, sad to say that Remy Ma is a narcissist. She chose to cheat repeatedly. Now that I finally moved on, she's playing victim. I have requested a divorce numerous times. She rather clout chase on social media than handle this like civilized adults. I did not want to do the social media foolishness for the sake of my 6-year-old baby. She has to go to school. As you can see, I remained quiet through it all.
Thus, Papoose has always been reticent, but he might be in for an unpleasant awakening if he thinks he can just remain silent and let this all go away. More hacked messages, mysterious social media posts, or a public split declaration are just a few of the daily twists that keep the drama going. The internet is still buzzing, the receipts are constantly falling, and the tale is getting more complicated every day. Lets us know that things are far from over. Ultimately, the entire situation demonstrates how challenging relationships can be, particularly when they are in the public center. After what appeared to be an unshakable marriage turned into a full-fledged scandal, fans are left wondering if they ever really knew the truth about Remy and Papoose. Now let's hear it. Do you believe Claire has good reason to be angry? How is Papoose going to fare amid all of this? Kindly provide your opinions in the space provided for comments below.